There's a lot going on in the truck world. Finally, it's been like very quiet these last couple years. We'll probably see some big updates in 2026, at least some information. We did see GM testing some mules out there. Now we're getting a little bit more word on these new small block V8s. Now you guys know my buddy over at CARMTEK Review, Barry. He's done a video similar to this. He has really good intel and he feels pretty strongly about some of the displacement updates they're going to be doing in the near future. But regardless of that, I'm really excited to see what GM is going to do, because you guys know GM takes a long time to update anything in their arsenal. So this is big news for hopefully reliability, efficiency, all that good stuff. And there's also some word on potentially a new Corvette engine as well. So here's the article I found on GMauthority.com. It says here, General Motors is gearing up to launch the new Gen 6 small block V8, the latest evolution of the iconic small block engine family. Currently expected to debut under the hood of the 2027 Chevy Silverado 1500, the new V8 engine is slated to find a home throughout GM's full-size truck and SUV lineup, while a performance-oriented variant is expected to power the C8 Corvette, possibly even heralding the return of the Corvette Grand Sport. Now, GM Authority is hearing an interesting new detail about the engine's potential displacement specs. I feel like we have to address that really quickly. How many more iterations of the C8 Corvette are they going to do? Like, we already understand that it's your cash cow. But my goodness, how many more iterations of this car can you possibly bring out? I thought the E-Ray was the Grand Sport, but I guess they're going to bring out a Grand Sport potentially. So it is what it is. Now, before we get going in this video, I want to ask this question real quickly. What are some of the updates you want to see for these new V8s? I already have some I can list off right now, and I'm pretty sure they're going to align with some of you guys, because yes, the first thing, AFM, DFM, we'll talk about that in a second. That's one I'm sure a lot of people are going to say for sure, and I agree with that. But let's go ahead and keep reading. According to sources familiar with the matter, the forthcoming Gen 6 small block V8 power plant may be offered in two distinct displacements, including 5.7 liters and 6.6 liters, providing a few different options for the surplus of applications across GM's various brand lineups. Of course, we should reiterate that General Motors has not officially confirmed these potential displacement specs. GM does go on to say that they have shared that there will be a 6th generation small block of engines. No product details have been shared. We can't comment on speculation about displacement. When it comes to launch, the new Gen 6 small block is expected to replace the current Gen 5 V8 lineup, which includes the 5.3 liter V8, 6.2 liter V8, and the 6.6 with the 6.2, LT2, and LT4. That'll be a tall order, no doubt about it, making multiple displacement options virtually a requirement, even in the face of the automakers winning with simplicity corporate strategy. For now, the new Gen 6 V8 is expected to continue forward with a push rod configuration and 90-degree cylinder bank angle, while providing improvements in refinement, efficiency, power, and torque compared to the Gen 5 small block. In fact, GM President Mark Roos has already confirmed that the General's next-gen full-size trucks will offer a 4 to 6% efficiency improvement at launch compared to the most recent 22.5 model year refresh, and 10 to 12% better efficiency compared to the current generation launch for 2019. GM has definitely had a tough time these last few years with their brand, especially their engines. When you think about the 6.2 liter, I mean, they're starting to date back problems to 2019. And obviously the 5.3s had a few issues here and there in the 2020s, but they're pretty bulletproof compared to the 6.2s at this point, I would say. Obviously the LCOs are starting to have issues, which don't really make a lot of sense right now. And yeah, I don't know if it's just a bad batch of parts, or it could be a potential defect with the manufacturing of these engines too, potentially. But we haven't even talked about transmissions yet, and they're having problems with that still too. But you have to give it to GM for, at the very least, staying true to themselves. They're the only manufacturer with a full-size SUV, full-size pickup truck, no V6 twin-turbo engines, right? GM is the only one. And they're the only one that still carries a diesel option. So I can give the respect where it's due. Sure, they do need to fix a lot of their mechanical failures with their engines and transmissions, but I can respect the fact that they are the only manufacturer that still has a diesel option for half tons and full-size SUVs. And they're the only manufacturer that doesn't have a twin-turboed 6-cylinder engine available right now for their trucks, which I would kind of expected there to be one for at least the Tahoes, Yukons, Escalade even. But nope, they still have V8 options. So hopefully now, after you guys read the comments on this video, you'll see all of the things we want to see. Yes, active fuel management, dynamic fuel management, those things need to go. I didn't even know up until probably a few years ago that the Corvette still used that for the 6.2 liter. I was shocked to see that. And one of my friends was actually talking to me about it. I was like, he told me that they still use cylinder deactivation even on the Corvette. And that's just stupid. Absolutely stupid. I even saw a comment from a master tech that has a theory that the active fuel management or dynamic fuel management could be potentially taking out some of the transmissions. I'll put that comment here. He kind of explains it. Or actually, you know what? Let's just jump into it. Let me just read it to you, and then we'll jump back into the video. I found this comment on caranddriver.com. The guy's name is Cheap Opinions. He's a tech at a small independent shop. He says that the GM and Ford co-developed 6, 8, and 10 speeds used in GM's half tons have demonstrated a significantly higher than average fault and failure rate. A particular weak spot in the torque converters, which we're speculating were prematurely from continually slipping the converter clutch during variable displacement operation to prevent transmitting V4 vibrations through the driveline. Do you see what happens when you want your truck or your SUV to ride like a Bentley or Rolls Royce? Yeah, you're going to have vibrations from these systems, and their way of trying to prevent that obviously creates other problems, which is insane. Because when we had our Wagoneer, when it would drop down, because theirs is the MDS, which is multi-displacement, that's what they call it on the Mopar side. That system, you could actually feel a little bit of vibration when you gave it like 20% throttle. But regardless of it, yes, we want to see those systems gone. And I'm pretty sure if GM was just this much smart, they just have to have this much knowledge and smartness, just this much, not much, to get rid of those systems, especially right now. This is the perfect time. Also, I want to see stop start gone. Stop start does not save fuel unless you live in areas that don't get over 60 degrees, because I turn it off in summertime. Sometimes I'll let that stupid system work in the wintertime because I don't mind being cold, and sometimes I don't have the heat on in the car. So it doesn't bother me as much. But in the summertime, that system, it turns the engine off for like 5 seconds because you have the AC on blast, and it just turns the engine off and only turns it back on within a few seconds. So it's not saving fuel. But I really, really, really want to see direct and port injection. Nothing would make me happier than if GM made that available for their V8s. I think that would help a little bit with reliability. I know some people say that GMs don't have the issue of buildup on the intake valves, but a few master techs that I've talked to have said that no, they do have buildup over the course of time. Now, it may not be in the 50,000 mile or less engines or people who actually do try to run top tier fuel, but it does rear its ugly head in some engines. And it would be nice if they allow these engines to have port and direct injection. Toyota has it in their engines. The Fords have it in their engines. I mean, even the 5-liter Coyote has port and direct injection. So why not have it? And by golly, I would not be upset with a turbocharged engine on a V8. Just saying, if they want to make that available for like the Cadillac V's or any ZR2 or AT4X in the future, because just the 6.2 is just not enough when you're comparing that with the 5.2 in the Ford Raptor or the 6.2 in the TRX, which is coming back obviously. But yeah, I think GM, they need to do something to reassure buyers. Hey, here's what we're doing to make our engines not only better, but more reliable. Here are the steps that we're taking. And I think getting rid of those systems that we just talked about and adding port and direct injection would make me really, really excited to potentially even buy my wife maybe a full-size SUV in the future, if that's what she wants. But I hope this was helpful. I'm excited to see what these V8s become. Maybe I'll do a video on the L8T, because you guys saw they're looking to replace that engine as well. So there's a very strong possibility that they will maybe do a hybrid system with the L8T. So we'll discuss that maybe next week or the week after. We'll see. I want to do a video on that. I think it'd be kind of good to discuss. But the biggest thing is obviously reliability. That's something that we don't have today. And as of right now, the V8s don't seem to be that popular with GM because of the faults that they're having. So GM, please don't disappoint. You can mess this up very easily if you do not follow what people are saying about your engines. People do still like GM products despite the hate online, but we want to have that confidence. That's all we want as buyers. That's what we want as owners, especially the fanboys. I mean, make them the happiest by making your engines last long. So yes, let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section. See you guys soon.